I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets' Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!
What is up, everybody? Welcome in to your final post-game show of the night. Here live, Chaos in the zone. What's up, brother? Long time no see.
I thought when we were watching the game that it would just get better. That, it would calm down from the game. And I said, watch our reaction if we had time to think. I got to tell you, I'm madder. I'm angrier than I was before.
I am as well. And I'm glad I'm not the only one. I agreed. I tend to simmer down. Honestly, as the week progresses, I don't know when that curve starts to downslope. But yeah, Scott, you're right. Gluttons for punishment. Yeah, I did. I expect my numbness over this team to kind of kick in. Dude, inexcusable. Inexcusable. 6 straight drives to open the game. Touchdowns. 42 points in 6 drives, man. Looking back, I didn't realize it got that bad. It was.
He is the worst coach. I mean, we thought Adam Gase was bad. This is worse than Adam Gase. And I'll tell you what I'm basing that on. He continues to insist it's not the X's and the O's. He continues to sit there and say, well, somebody's got to make a play. We watched their receivers run around wide open in the middle of the field. If you can't tell, aside from just being, yes, I understand it's very clear that they have the more talented roster. But if you can't tell that that was a coaching clinic, I don't know what else there is to say. I can't judge our offensive coordinator. I can't, because we have a kid who holds the football. And until I watch tape, I don't know if people are open or if he's just, he doesn't belong in the NFL. So I don't know. But defensively, you can't tell me that this is not X's and O's and not like you're the head coach and you were a former defensive coordinator. You need to step in and do something if you don't have the coaching staff to do it. But That wasn't a game. That was a clinic. That was a father taking their child out and saying, "Hit me." Or like in that movie, in those military movies, where the sergeant says, "Hit me," and then the sergeant, of course, beats the shit out of the guy. That's what that was. And to have to listen and to endure this coach to come out every week because he gets to talk like a tough guy. And I'm confident in my plan. And we have to listen to this because he's the head coach, knowing that one day he's going to be a nobody in the street that is the butt of our jokes. That's what he is. He is the future butt of our jokes. He is another piece of our laughable history. He is a terrible, terrible head coach. He is not even functional.
I don't know how many clips and shit you've seen, brother, but there was one that really sticks in my craw, and we laughed about it at the time. But it was a timeout with 19 seconds left in the first half. The Patriots burnt their final timeout, daring us to throw it again so we could punt it to them again. And there's a clip out there of Vrabel after that timeout, and he's chuckling on the sideline, and he turns to somebody and says, "Fuck them."
Yeah, I mean, it was like a shellacking. It was a shellacking. They were joking around on the sidelines and having a good time, thinking, "What is this? This is a joke." And like, there's embarrassing, and then there's just unacceptable. And when you really put all the pieces together, because I hate it, because we can't use the excuse. Oh, because I always use the excuse. Well, he's using the undrafted free agent. What do you expect? I expect to lose. He's resting everybody. He's sitting everybody. Why? Why is everybody shut down? Why are we in tank mode? Because we went 0-7. That's why. Because he's a terrible coach. He's terrible. And as we draft these players, all he's going to do is weigh us down. That's all he's going to do. He's never going to magic. You could give him the best roster. It's not going to matter because he's not a real NFL coach. It's like when the Colts hired Jeff Saturday, the offensive lineman, to be their coach. That's what we have in this guy. It is a joke. He's not an NFL coach.
I was not with you. I was one of the last people holding the rope.
I tried.
My rope, I think it turned into a tapeworm. I had to let it go, man. Today was bad. We had Jake on here last Sunday night. He was here for like 5 minutes, man. And he showed more passion than this team has shown in a month. Okay. He told us, hey, the last 3 weeks, guys, we have been outscored 111 to 36. What's that number now? It's over 150 to less than 50. It's that bad. 3-1. 3-1.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know the solution because I don't know the players on the board. It's really hard to get checkmate if you don't know the pieces. But man, oh man, I can't do this again. I can't, man. I can't. The draft picks are nice, but how much worse are they if you think they're going to be squandered?
I mean, I don't know about the squandering of the picks. I don't know if Muji will like. I don't know if I'm there to worry about the picks as much as the fact that I just don't think, no matter how much talent you give this head coach, I don't expect anything, because it's not where I'm thinking, well, if we had talent, maybe he'd be good. We just don't have the roster. That's not the feel I get. I feel like it doesn't matter. We're just out schemed. They have all year I've watched them send wide receivers across the middle. It's a down and in, man. I did it in Brooklyn. We used to draw it out on our freaking hand on the street. You go here 5 steps and cut across. And they've been doing that play, a play that 10-year-olds on their street playing two-hand touch football against us, and we can't defend it.
We can't, man. We can't defend anything, man. We can't defend. I don't even know the indefensible. I don't even know, man, anymore. It's so hard to make excuses, man, because they run the ball 9 to 11 yards. They pass the ball 15 to 25. They run the ball 9 to 11 yards. They pass the ball 15 to 25. Man, they carved us up like a freaking ham.
How many times was it third down today? And we've talked about it all year. We talked about it all last week. I talked about it from the beginning of the game today. How many times do we have to watch this team? And you want to talk about same old Jets, because this has been going on my whole freaking life with this team. How many times on 3rd and 8 do we have to watch them throw a 5-yard pass and not get the first down?
Dude, so many times they will not throw it. The yellow line is like a death laser, man. You cannot throw the football past it. You can't.
And I don't want to hear, it's because it's the undrafted free agent quarterback. It's because it's Brady Cook and the kids learn. No. This is every quarterback we've ever had.
Why do you even have 5-yard routes on a play where you need 7 to 10 yards? Why even do it, man? Because then the quarterback is just tempted to hit the easy 5-yard play.
You know what?
It's 4th and 2 and you're punting.
And if I'm being honest, and maybe the film in my gut, this is not based on any research. I think that Aaron Rodgers was the exception. We weren't great. He didn't have his best year, but I think he wasn't this ridiculous in that I think he did throw past the sticks. It didn't always work out. He wasn't the Aaron Rodgers we dreamed of from Green Bay, obviously. He put up the best numbers we've seen in a long time from a quarterback. But, obviously it wasn't vintage Aaron Rodgers. But at least even with that losing, we were throwing the ball past the chains. And then the last time I can remember doing that before Aaron Rodgers was Fitzgerald. With Fitzmagic. Fitzpatrick, yeah. Fitzgerald. Yeah. Fitzpatrick or Fitzmagic, because but in 2015 was the last time we had a quarterback who on 3rd and 8 would throw a 12-yard pass. But other than those 2 years, it's like my whole life I've been dealing with this.
I'm sorry, because I feel like I have, but also my years don't stack up to yours. I didn't have to endure the late 80s, the early 90s. The rest of it I probably have. Scott chimes in. It's a super chat. It jumps straight ahead, man. Unlike Brees. $2 from Scott. He says, Dane's beard is stronger than Glenn's rope.
Probably is. Charles Gorman is going nuts, man. He's buying memberships. He's doing super chats. He's going nuts. This guy I think this guy struck big in cryptocurrency or something.
I think he's been betting against the Colts and the Jets every single week.
That's what
You are right. I did not even see that yet. Chaos, man. Charles Gorman, man. Love you, brother. For real. Gifting 5 new patrons the ability to not only use our emojis down there, but also hop into the Discord where we can berate Chaos. Aaron Glenn every day. We also do our pick 'em there. You'll find out the results immediately. We'll chop it up. But anyways, regardless, you got your gifted membership. Spin, Max, Dave. Good.
And I just want to, can I cut in and say something? Because Boss Girl's all upset, thinking, don't put words on our mouths. We're not going to spend 2 hours complaining about Aaron Glenn. I think after the pummeling we took today and his press conference where he again said X's and O's don't matter, we have the right to talk about it for 10 minutes as a reaction. And then we'll talk about the draft and we'll talk about all the other positivities and things that we can look forward to. But of course, we're going to spend the first portion of the show talking about the fact that we have possibly the worst coach to ever step foot on a football field.
Agreed. But also, I would just like to, remind people, I don't know I don't know how many people have been to 4 post-game shows and already got it all out of their system. I have not. You know, I think I sent like a little $2 to Jake saying, "How's that point differential now, brother?" Other than that, man, I've been unplugged. I've been marinating. I've been stewing, and then now going live is my chance to unload. So I apologize if you've already heard 16 takes already. Boss girl, I know you are level headed, and but yeah, I we just this is our time to really voice what we've been feeling all day, and that's what we're doing. Again, we will segue to other topics, I'm sure, because man, this is an exhausting topic.
It's an
It really
exhausting
is,
topic.
man.
And you know what? What's more exhausting about it is we're not going to talk about him getting fired because he's not going to be fired.
Fair point.
He's
Fair
not going to
point.
be fired. That's not the point. If he was going to be fired, we'd only have one more game of him and I wouldn't talk about him at all. The reason
Yeah.
we have to talk about him a little bit is because he's our coach next year, because he's not
And
being fired.
And honestly, even if you skate around the subject, it'll dominate the chat. That's all people want to talk about. So like we're just trying. Hey man, you got other things you want us to discuss? Throw it in the chat now. That could be our next topic. Literally, I scan the chat all the time for topics. Where do you want us to go? That's what I'd love to know. Because we can do draft, but like you said, Jeremy, we're going to be doing draft for 4 months, man. 4
Yeah,
months.
dude,
Like
there's no better guide to a show than the chat. There's no
yes,
better guide to a show, right?
yes,
That's why the most helpful. I don't care about there's 50 people in or 20 people watching as long as it's an active chat, because that's what makes the show. You have
I'd rather
something
have.
else you want to talk about. You have other questions, other topics you want to hear our takes on that you want to discuss with us. That's fine. Right now, the initial reaction we're going to give to start the show is a reaction from what we saw today. That
Yeah.
obviously is going to be where we start the show. And then we're going to go wherever the chat wants to take us, for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Charles chimes in super chat $15.
Wow.
Charles, man, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. I'm just going to tell you to don't give it to me. Don't give it to me, not me. Uh, hook your mom up or your dad or something. But dude, appreciate it, and I'm going to give this the air it needs. $15, man. Uh, he says, keep preaching the truth, Jeremy. Keep preaching the fucking truth, brother.
I preached my truth. I have nothing more to preach. I said what I have to say. We have, and again, I don't know what I just saw something about Estrand or something, and I want to say that I'm not evaluating Tanner Estrand. I'm not, because Tanner Estrand, I mean, there's a chance he could be terrible, and the reason why Justin Fields was bad, but I have no evidence of that. Like, I don't know, because it's not like Justin Fields was killing it everywhere else, right? Let's be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah,
he wasn't.
yeah.
So I'm not judging Tanner Estrand based on what he does with Brady Cook. I'm just not going to do it. I have no idea. It looks to me in a lot of these plays, even with Justin Fields, when Justin Fields was playing, in a lot of the plays, it looked like guys were open. I don't know what an offensive coordinator can do better than that. He schemed an offense where guys were open. Your quarterback has to be able to make the decision to throw the ball. So I can't sit there and judge this offensive coordinator. I could judge the defensive coordinator, Wilkes, who was fired, because we watched the same play kill us over and over again. Like we watched ourselves not be able to make adjustments, not be able to do certain things.
Dude,
And the head coach, I'm more angry about it, what he's saying in the press conference now. The press conference is what's pissing me off, because the last 2 press conferences that I've watched, he's talking about X and O's and scheme not mattering.
yeah, yeah. It's hard to for Angstrand. I get so much vibes of LaFleur, and
Same victim.
we rode his ass out of town, man. And even before we did, there was people like Blewett and Sabo out there saying, "Look, guys, people are open." We shipped him out, man. And then all of a sudden, he's doing fine. He is doing just fine. And most Jet fans, the last 2 years, if they're being honest, they would have killed to have him back. Killed. So I don't want to criticize Angstrom. I don't. Not until we see more of a pulse under center.
I mean,
But
Frankie from Flatbush says it so beautifully when I have private messages with them. He goes, Jeremy, he goes, every offensive coordinator sucks if you don't have a quarterback. And it's like so true. I mean, if you don't have a quarterback, the offensive coordinator is not going to look good.
true.
You know what I mean? It's like, and when you say LaFleur, I relate to that because, you know, one idiot wanted to call him LaFraud and all this attacks on the guy. When we started during those couple of years, any player not named Zach Wilson, we were a top 10 offense in the NFL. Do you know that? Backup guys like Johnson, like any quarterback that wasn't named Zach Wilson, we were a top 10 offense under LaFleur.
Like my guy, Mike White.
Mike White, that other guy, what am I saying? The journeyman guy who just started for Washington. Johnson or something like.
Yeah, fill them out. Fill them in, man. Fill them in. I know what you're talking about, though. It really was that big a difference, though. Zach versus not Zach.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not going to judge an offensive coordinator who doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, I just attacked Saleh and I said I think Saleh is overrated. What is he doing without Warner and Bosa? And that's what Frankie was talking about. He goes, well, Jeremy, any defensive coordinator, take away their stars, we're not going to look very good. You know, and people could say that about Wilkes, but Wilkes was bad when we were 0-7. He was bad afterwards. Like it didn't matter when, and he was on 5 different teams in 5 years. So obviously something was wrong with that defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Let me take this one first. E-Boogie chimes in. Membership milestone chat. He got a membership last month. This is his freebie. He says, I'm going to use it to say this. If the Jets fire AG, who is available? And I do want to take this one first because I do feel like I have a sensible take here. The head coaches available right now are as follows. Anyone we could have had last year and didn't, and anyone fired on Black Monday this year. Very hard to paint that picture right now because, hey, man, you know, you could say McCarthy, you could say Gruden, you could say Flores, you can pick any coordinator in the league you want to promote that wants to leave their team. But I think we got to wait and just wait till Black Monday. I forget when it is. Is it the Monday after the Super Bowl? Whenever that, I mean, you could Google it. It's sometime in January or February, but it's the day where most of these coaches all get fired. Let's see. Does Stefanski get fired? Does Schwartz become available? Does Mike McDaniel get fired? Does Dable get fired? I mean, we could sit here and talk 2 hours about head coach candidates, and we might when there's really nothing to talk about. But
I mean, obviously,
let's get there first.
We had the opportunity to hire Brian Flores, and we didn't. And I don't want to hear he's a defensive mind. Forget that. Brian Flores took over a roster worse than ours in Miami, and he almost made them a playoff team. He was on the way. He is a proven gets more out of his team than his roster is. He went to Minnesota and magically gave them a defense with no talent on that freaking defensive. Well, and there was talent after he got there and made them look good, right? We decided no, we're not gonna touch Flores, right? So we're not gonna magically hire him now. We passed up on him once. We're probably never gonna call him, right? There was never a plan to call him. The reason I know we're not gonna fire Aaron Glenn as of right now, because right now there's nobody to replace Aaron Glenn with that they like, because they would have hired that person, like you said, last year. So that's why I'm confident that Aaron Glenn will be the coach next year, because there is no other alternative unless somebody gets fired. And that's the question. The question is, if somebody shakes loose somewhere, and I'm not saying it is, I don't buy into all those rumors, but let's say for some in the wacky world that we live in, somehow John Harbaugh, whatever his freaking first name is, I mix him up with his brother for Baltimore, shook loose. Let's say something goes wrong. He has a fight with management, whatever. And suddenly he's available. And for some whacked out reason that no one would ever be able to understand, he wanted to come to the Jets. That's an exception, right? That's an exception. were then, just like New England was not planning on firing their head coach after 1 year, Mayo. They were not going to fire him. What happened was an opportunity presented itself in Vrabel.
Chaos, I don't want this to suck you back down a rabbit hole. Let me say that first and foremost, but I do want to read this to you from 5 minutes ago. It's from Dom C. And I think he was kind of backing you, but I could be wrong. Let me
That
read it
sounds like
here
he is.
first. You can adhere to and want to tank, especially after an 0-7 start, and still be critical of the head coach.
Of course.
These things are not mutually exclusive. Anything you want to add or echo there?
Well, I think that some people are confusing what tanking means. Teams don't lose on purpose. The players are not going out there and losing on purpose. So you don't give Aaron Glenn a pass and saying, well, they're tanking, so it doesn't really matter that they're losing so bad. That's not how tanking works. Not how real tanking works. Maybe with the Raiders, which I called, by the way. I said the Raiders are the one team that I think would actually go out there and lay down, right? Because of their owner. And the Miami tried, right? The Miami owner tried to do it. He tried to have Brian Flores do it. But the tanking that we're doing, that is the typical tank, is we are shutting players down who don't really have to be shut down, right? But the players that are still out there, he's still coaching. They're still supposed to be trying. We're supposed to lose because we shut down a lot of guys and we're starting a rookie quarterback. Fine. We're not supposed to get mutilated. We're not supposed to get mutilated. We're not supposed to come out as a head coach and tell the media, do you feel that you were out schemed or out prepared? No, we're not losing because we're out schemed. We're losing because we're not making plays. That's a problem to me. That has nothing to do with tanking. That's ignorance. That's someone who's not getting it as a coach, right?
Well,
Because
and,
this
and we
is
also
about
we al-
scheming.
and we also, I mean, I don't quote me on this, but during our live stream watch party earlier, we were even super chatted from a fan in the stands that said the Jets actually have players right now fighting on their own sideline.
Right.
I
Right. And
mean,
that's
it
true.
was worse. It's you didn't just take your beating like a man, go into the locker room and spin some story. Dude, we were getting chippy out there. We were clearly not all on the same page. The effort was up and down, mostly down. 6 straight scoring drives. I mean, they were, man, it was bad. I mean, I get it. We knew we were going to lose. We know we're tanking. We all knew this, but the optics of it was just horrible, man. I mean, 21-0, then 28-0, and like it was 42-3.
If players are hitting each other on the side or fighting with each other on the sidelines, are we going to defend that? Are there going to be people who say that's not a problem? Like, if it's gotten to the point where the players are fighting with each other, if that's true, and I'm saying if, because it was one comment from a fan, which is probably a better source than the media. If a fan came in and said this is what they're seeing that we trust as part of our chat, but if it's true, if it now comes out, if they get some recordings of it and it starts to break out that there's infighting in this locker room, and you're going to anybody who's going to defend Aaron Glenn for that, you just don't get what coaching is. Like, you just don't understand what a coach's job is, because that would be worse than what we're seeing on the field. If this team has infighting, we've got a problem that goes way deeper than X's and
And
O's and way deeper
well,
than roster talent.
I wouldn't always pay that any mind, one person's take, but it was made right after a split second. They panned to Aaron Glenn and he was turned around yelling at people. So that I'd have to go back and review that. But why else would be turned around and like, you know what I mean? If that didn't also be accurate, it's something. It's something. Swamp Ranger, your bodyguard, chimes in. He says Black Monday is in 8 days, so that is actually the Monday after we play the Bills.
He's not going to get fired. And I'll tell you what, even in spite of everything I'm saying, He is going to be our coach because I don't think that Harbaugh is going to become available. He's going to be our coach, and I'm going to root for him. I'm not going to come into next offseason in these right as we get ready for the season complaining about Aaron Glenn. We have no chance. We suck. That's not who I am. I'm going to be rooting for him. I'm going to be hoping that we get new fresh blood, new fresh players. Okay, maybe the 0-7 start is what did it. Maybe all of a sudden, maybe we go into next season. I'm going to be hoping we win a couple of games, right? But if we rebuild this team a little bit, right, we get rid of, clear out some of the fodder, we do some draft picks, we sign some guys, we go in feeling good, and we go into that season and start off 0-5. I don't want to hear if he's, oh, well, he's starting to tank and take out players. And no, like those first 6 games, can we all agree of next season, he's got to, like in the first 6 games, we've 2-4 is not great, but depending on our schedule, it might be forgivable. But in an average schedule, we have the right to be looking for 3-3, right?
Yeah. And we spoke of this earlier. 2 years is my cap. I need a full evaluation of him next year he's got one more chance for me. One more chance, man. And like you said, short, you know what's funny? I was going to say short leash. Maybe I'll say a short rope. How about that? He's got a short rope from me. Don't let go of the rope. Let me ask you this. Rich Sports Talk has a good question here. Who has been your biggest disappointment as a player this year? And then we'll get into some more upbeat topics.
I like that what you said that. I think my biggest disappointment was, I mean, there's a bunch to go around, but there's not so much there's not a lot of guys that I'm that individually that angry with or upset with, like as you would think. Like with the offensive line, I'm fine with. I'm not really disappointed in anyone or anything like that. Jermaine Johnson's coming back from the Achilles, so he's sealing the edge. He's just not getting sacks. I'm going to say the player I was the most disappointed with is a new player that we signed, and that was Cisco. I thought we were getting a playmaking safety, and he turned out to be probably maybe as bad as any safety I've ever watched play for this team.
He's Chuck Clark.
Yeah.
He's Chuck Clark.
I think Cisco is the worst signing we did in the offseason. That's okay. I'm not going to, you're going to miss draft picks, free agents, every GM, you're going to miss. But if you're asking me disappointment-wise, that's the player I'm the most disappointed in. He was terrible. He really hurt this team those first 4 or 5 weeks. And he's really part of the reason we started off 0-7.
Yeah. You know what? I could go with the easy fish in the barrel to grab Justin Fields, but I can't fault him. I can't fault him for his feeble mind. So I'm gonna go with yep. I'm gonna go with dark horse candidate, Will McDonald. Because, and let me defend it.
No, it's okay.
Expectation versus result. That's it for me. We looked at it the other night, man. He had like 2 sacks week 1. Then he had nothing for 7 weeks till week 8. He had a couple more sacks in the middle. Then 5 weeks, nothing. Man, I just don't know what to do with this guy anymore. Like, it went from me wanting to extend him to, thinking he was a cornerstone on the edge, even if he's a specialist or just a third down guy. I still thought he was worthy of being extended. To, I don't even know, man. I don't know if you pick up his option. I don't know if you offer him a cheaper deal. I don't know anymore. I don't know if it's Wilkes, dude, how do you go from that to I'm at a loss? So for me, that's my number 1.
Yeah. And that's fine. And I'm not mad, by the way. I'm not mad at any of these guys. Like, it could be the scheme, it could be the coach, it could be the coach's fault. It's the player I'm the most disappointed in this with the perspective of my expectations. My expectations that Cisco was going to be a playmaker. He wasn't. Was it Aaron Glenn's fault? Was it Wilkes' fault? Was it the scheme's fault? I don't know. But you're asking me where my disappointment is. My disappointment is in the lack of big plays and the lack of what Cisco was in Jacksonville that he was not for us.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Fields was an obvious low-hanging piece of fruit that just went over my head. But yeah, I mean, it's not that I was a huge. I guess I missed it in my head. I didn't name him because I never expected a lot from him. Like I was never excited about the signing. I was not a believer in Justin Fields, but like Billy said, I never in a million years would have guessed he would be this bad. Like there was no way to see that coming. Like because in Chicago and Pittsburgh, I never saw that version of Justin Fields. Like this is the worst he has ever been.
The worst iteration for sure. And I want to back you on the Cisco take because I was pumped on Cisco. Dude had 8 picks the 3 years prior to coming to us.
Yeah.
8 total picks. That's 3, 4, and 1. And then we couldn't even get it one the entire year. Like we were starved for the guy Cisco could have been. So it did make it that much more, painful. The fact that
and by the way, I never get angry at players unless they do something stupid on the field, like an unnecessary roughness if they screw us, right? Like if a player goes over and puts a late hit on a quarterback and loses us the game, I get mad at the player. But I never get mad at a player for not being good. Like if they're not good, they're not good. Like in other words, it's the scheme, maybe it's the coaching, but I'm not going to be personally mad at a person. I don't think Cisco didn't try hard. He's on a 1-year deal. I think he probably tried really hard. I think Justin Fields really wants to be great. I'm not mad at Justin Fields. It just is what it is. He is who he is.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, man. I get mad. I get mad if they fool me. Like if you just come here and you're bad, whatever. But if you start playing well and getting me to believe in you, and then you yank the rug out from under me, man, I can't help but be bitter. Hey, call me crazy. Tell us, chat, if that scenario happens and they fool you and then pull the rug, are you mad? I think the word is mad for me. But anyways, Jesus Jerry chimes in, $7.99 Australian dollars.
Wow, meat pies.
Dude, that's like so much. Send prayers, family. My parlay is almost cashed.
Nice.
Some love, please.
I hope you win your parlay. I won some money, as you know, today.
You did. How?
The Survivor League. The Survivor League. I needed Cincinnati to win, and the other dude took Miami to lose to Tampa. He took Tampa, and Miami upset Tampa. Cincinnati won, and I won the league.
Dude. So that wasn't just a one-day bet. That was all season, and you won the championship today.
I would have won already, but this dude made the rules double elimination, like you get a mulligan. So I was the last one to get a mulligan. So I was pissed because I was like, man, I already won in every other Survivor League I've ever been in. I won. But in this one, you get a mulligan. So then I finally lost the game, and there was one guy left. And we matched each other, went head to head for 3 weeks in a row, unable to break each other. And then today, finally, I won.
He's in the chat. He said he switched it to triple elimination, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, cash that. Hey, Jesus Jerry, man, prayers with you, man. Let's go. Win that money. Let us know what parlay legs you still have to hit if you can. But yeah, we do have Sunday Night Football cooking. I'm trying to pull it now. Okay. 49ers up 7 end of the third.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a game.
Is that who wins that game?
I don't think they both have 11 wins.
Yeah, I don't think there's any strength of schedule implications or any weird stuff like that. Or
if we do, it's minimal.
We're getting the third. We're getting the third pick in the draft. So let's it's stupid.
I promised some positivity, Jeremy. What do you think of this passing chart here?
Is this Drake May?
Yeah.
So we're celebrating Drake May now.
Yeah, we are.
I think
I'm teasing about the positivity, but I do want to ask your thoughts on the passing chart. I mean, the white is incomplete.
Oh, so one of our safeties made a nice play. Look, what could you say? They have a great quarterback. And, it pretty much sums up everything that we need for the future. We need a great quarterback. And we could take our anger and frustrations out on Aaron Glenn all we want. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what coach you bring in here. Until we get a quarterback, we'll be beating up and blaming everybody, from, Aaron Rodgers to somebody with whose name starts with a Z. I don't know. But you know what I mean. I mean, like, we'll be blaming everyone, pointing fingers, like coming apart as a fan base, coming apart as a team until we get a quarterback. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, because you see what's going on with New England right now. What happened? Why are they all of a sudden good again? Since 2019, what happened? Brady left. They haven't had a quarterback. Now they have a quarterback. Oh, wow. I mean, does it take a brain surgeon to figure it out? You need a quarterback.
Yep. I've heard that a lot this week. Not only do you need a quarterback, you need a coach. Those are the two things you need in this league. Am I only hearing that because it's the two things we are lacking the most? I always wonder that, because it's like we always need the thing we don't have. Last year, this year, I heard we need a quarterback that can progress through his reads, that can pick apart a defense. Well, we haven't had a guy like that, so I don't know. Like, is that what we need? We need a dink and dunker. I don't know, man. I just think that you got to get your floor up. I'm not even talking ceiling anymore, man. I just want to get the floor out of this pit of hell.
I mean, we're going to be in rock bottom forever until we get the quarterback. And I'm not saying that means you go all out and get the quarterback this year. I'm not, because that doesn't work either. Like, trying to force it, you can't magically make the reality that there's a quarterback. Like, you can't. It just doesn't work like that. I mean, so part of it is just we have to hope this regime, that Muji and these scouts know, that are just able to make the right decision, like to be able to recognize this, if it's not the year and there is no quarterback this year, or if it's just one and he's gone because we don't have the first pick and there's nothing we could do about that at this point. If that's the reality, then we need the scouts and we need Muji to recognize that, because worse than not picking a quarterback and getting another bridge and waiting till next year, worse than that is picking the wrong one. Like, if we take Ty Simpson, Dante Moore, or Mendoza, let's say any of them, because I don't want to upset anybody, because I know people feel differently about the different quarterbacks. But if we take one of those quarterbacks and are wrong, that's much worse than not taking one. Much worse.
It is. Correct. It's much, much worse, man. Once you spend a top 5 pick or 2 or 3, that's like a 5-year commitment. Like,
You
I mean,
have
we
to
can
be right.
you
You
can
have to
say,
be right.
oh, you can just double dip so fast, man. When was the last time? When did we take Zach? What year was that, Chaos?
Zach,
2021?
21.
5 years ago. Like, it took us 5 years to do it again.
Having to make that Aaron Rodgers trade, like, and give up on the plan of Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson would have panned out, if we would have gotten the quarterback that year, if he would have ended up being a good quarterback, it would change everything. And not everything. I mean, I don't know if Saleh's the right coach, but it would have been very different. It would have felt very different. Like, we wouldn't. They may. I mean, it's hard. It's impossible to know exactly what would have happened, but it changed the course of everything.
Great question here from Boss Girl chiming in. She says, do you guys think the 3 quarterbacks hopefully coming out would all potentially be good NFL quarterbacks, like a Caleb Daniels May type year? Then if that's the case, stick and pick. Thoughts on the first part and then the second part?
I'm admittedly now, I've given up trying to pretend or act like I know anything. I want to qualify, I'm a moron when it comes to knowing which quarterbacks are going to be good and which quarterbacks are going to be bad out of college. I mean, and I'm just accepting that, as I think it's just a fact for all fans and all people, because for years we're watching everybody get it wrong. 50, it's the same ratio of numbers. It's a freaking crapshoot, right? But in all honesty, if I was putting my life on the line about my personal gut feeling from the film I do watch and everything, I do not think that these 3 quarterbacks come close to these three names. Like compared to how I felt about that, I felt much stronger about that quarterback class than I do this one.
Yeah.
I do not dislike any of the top three guys that we talk here about. Like, I have nothing against them. I have no evidence or nothing bad to say about Ty Simpson, Dante Moore, or Mendoza. I personally have like Mendoza for one reason, not because I think he's better than the other two by any real science. I just think he's the only one that I've watched run what I think is the closest to an NFL offense.
Yeah.
As far as actually having to go through progressions, actually having to throw to tightly covered receivers who aren't wide open, actually having to play under a lot of pressure. Whereas I feel like I think Ty Simpson works in a very automated robotic system. I think Oregon, you get an hour to throw the ball and wide open receivers to throw to. I don't think that's a negative thing, though. That's not fair to criticize
Right.
those It's not fair to criticize Dante Moore because his receivers are open. It's not fair to
Right.
criticize him because he has time. I'm just saying it's scary to draft a guy that I've never seen have to play in a situation that resembles the NFL in any way.
You want all the boxes to be checked, and it's very hard to check the box that says he can throw under pressure repeatedly, short, intermediate, long, if he never has to.
Yeah. But at the same time, I have nothing bad to say about them overall. I see Dante Moore making beautiful passes. He looks like he has an arm where he can make every kind of throw. He's doing everything that's being asked of him. I have nothing negative to say about him. I just don't know if it's going to translate to the NFL. I don't know if Mendoza is going to translate to the NFL. But if you put a gun to my head and said you have to pick one, which one? You have to get it right, or else we're going to put a bullet in your head. Which one are you going with to save your life that you think is going to be a good NFL quarterback? My honest answer is my gut tells me Mendoza.
Fair. Yeah. I think I'm a little harsher on Mendoza simply because I don't think we're going to have a chance to take it, man. I don't. So I'm already looking at plan 1B, and that's my 1A. I really do think that factors into my love for Dante Moore because I don't see it. I don't think it's a wise decision to trade up and go get him either. I think he's good, but I think, like Chaos said, it's a crapshoot, man. Dante Moore, I will say, I heard a comp the other day that I really think is accurate. And if everything pans out with Dante Moore and he comes out and you draft him, I think a very good comp for him, and I'm talking about on the field, is Deshaun Watson in Houston. Guy has that kind of arm, okay? And mind you, Deshaun, I mean, if you don't remember Deshaun in Houston, I can't help you. But again, he may not come out. If it's Mendoza or Simpson, man, I feel way worse about this class, and I think I am willing to suffer longer until next year. But you know what? Let's take a week or two. We'll know so much more in 2 weeks when they have to declare. We'll know so much more in 2 weeks as crap. Who was it? I had it here. Someone said, okay, Afram, I believe. Um, Thursday. Oregon plays, Indiana plays, Ohio State plays the day before, but like we'll know so much more. So don't quote us for our opinion today when we are going to know so much more in 2 weeks.
I will say this too. I think that this should be said. It's December. 12 months ago, I know one person who knew the name Tyler Shuck. One person. And it wasn't Dom C. I never heard Play Like a Jet mention his name. No one cared about this guy. Dom C knew his name because I'm not saying Dom C didn't know his name. He evaluates all the players. He knew his name, but he never talked about him, never cared about him. Right? The only time we cared about him at all is when he said announced he was going to the Senior Bowl. Tony, the GM, is the only person that mentioned this guy's name. He would send me texts and he goes, Shuck. He goes, there's this kid, Shuck. And everybody else laughed at him. All my friends, Tigo, all the guys, right? Ryan, Tony, the GM, clueless. Right? And everybody laughed at him. Dom rolled his eyes when I said it. Tyler, right? Shuck. Tony, the GM. Nobody in this fan base, people will claim, "Oh, I knew about him." Blah blah blah. Maybe he went to Oregon and was terrible there. Okay, so Scott Foster knew about him, but nobody was talking about him being a draftable quarterback.
Not in the
Right.
pre-draft
Right.
process.
Nobody.
Right.
Other than Tony the GM, no one ever mentioned his name in the mock drafts. Nobody said, "Oh, I like this guy." I heard a million different names, Ewers, right? All these different names from Ohio State, like all these other guys. I never heard someone say Shuck. And that was right December I'm talking about, right? Then we get to the Senior Bowl. Suddenly, he has a good game in the Senior Bowl, and some people start saying his name. And suddenly, as that, after that, the follow-up to that is with the interviews and everything. Now all of a sudden, people are talking about it as a third round, but now it's a quarterback. So it's not second round. And the next thing you know, Shuck is early second round pick, and he might he's having a really good year. Everyone's talking about Jackson Dart. Shuck is the guy to be talking about right now. So my point to all this is there's a bunch of other names out there that we're not talking about. And some of those names might become names we're talking about in 2 months from now.
Agreed. I also think Scott, who said don't grade any of these guys on one game, I believe that. I don't say to watch Oregon on Thursday against Texas Tech for the sole reason of grading Dante Moore on that one game. I do think it's just another rep under his belt, another good defense he's playing against. So grade him on one game, but grade him on one game times 20. Like grade him on all of them. So yeah, I don't know
Absolutely.
if
You can never, and plus you have to remember it's a team sport. So you always got to be careful about how much you judge a quarterback on one game because it's a team sport. And I'll tell you, advanced stats show it all the time. And people ignore this and people want to pretend it doesn't matter. When a quarterback is given under 2.5 seconds, there's only a handful in the world. And that's usually NFL guys like Tom Brady and names like that succeed. 99.9% quarterbacks fail when they're given under 2.5 seconds. There's only been a few in the history. The greatest quarterbacks of all time have been the only quarterbacks that can consistently succeed even when be given under 2.5 seconds of time in the pocket. You have to understand that. The chances of finding a quarterback that can deal with that. So then we watch a game where a guy's out, is under pressure the whole game. He's under complete duress. And we say, look, he can't handle pressure. If it's every play and he doesn't have a good game, you can't judge him by that one game. Because all that says is he's not Tom Brady. He's not Joe Montana. That's what you're saying. He's not Peyton Manning. He's not one of the greatest of all time right now in this moment. That's what you're saying about a guy. If you're counting beats and you count that he's getting over 3 seconds and not performing, that's a guy that's going to have trouble in the NFL because in the NFL, you're not going to consistently get over 3 seconds. So, I mean, I don't know how to rate a quarterback for pressure other than doing that. Like other than either looking for that stat or on yourself count 1 rush, 2 rush, 3 rush. If you want to really try to evaluate a quarterback as do they get rid of the football on time? Agreed.
I'm with you, man. You are spitting fire tonight, Chaos. I love it. We're hitting an hour here, folks. If you can spike the like button, man. We're chilling on a Sunday night, fielding questions, fielding calls. You ready for a call, Jeremy?
It's early, but why not?
It is early, but I have a feeling we'll get one call out of the way and then stall again. I have that feeling because this guy, he's chomping at the bit, man. He's sending in money. He's sending in memberships. He says, let me talk to the chaotic one.
Hello, everybody.
Charles. Thanks for
let me just say, the Jets were so bad. Not only is it was as if they didn't belong on the football field, it's as if they didn't belong in the NFL. That's all I'm going to say about that. The only good thing I liked about it was that Brees Hall finally eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark this year. I liked it. I thought it was awesome that he got a 1,000-yard rushing season on his resume. But other than that, the fucking game was a disgrace. I mean, Drake May had all day in the effing world to throw that bitch. He kept slinging the rock like it was nobody's business. I mean, I have nothing against Drake May, even though he plays for the Patriots. But damn, I almost like in the back of my mind, pressure this motherfucker. Hit him. Drive him. Grind him to the ground. Do something.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
They can't even. He was like, hey, baby, how you doing? I'll be home before you know it.
5 touchdowns, man. 5 touchdown passes on 6 drives and change. Let me ask you this, Charles. Where are you at with Glenn? Are you with everybody in the fan base?
I'm disgusted with the coaching staff. I'm disgusted with the coaching staff in general. I mean, the only thing that I really like the most about our coaching staff is our special teams coach, Chris Banjo. Let's give him a round of applause. I mean, I do like Sean. Is it Sean Jefferson, our wide receivers coach? I like him. Tanner Angstrom, I think, is a work in progress. Everyone else, I'm kind of mid to fuck off with. And as for Aaron Glenn, I know this is his first year, but it's like he's talking out of his ass as if his ass has the mouth and the teeth rather than the face. And as if his brain is somewhere that we don't know where the brain is located. So it's like, what the hell are you doing? This is a guy that we thought when he played for us from 94 to 2001, that he should be able to understand what these players are going through. He was used to the shitty years, especially under Kotite. And then when one of the goats, one of the goated ones, Bill Parcells came in, taught him the ways of winning, taught him the ways of success. You'd think he would learn this shit. You know, Aaron Glenn, I get it, is a grown-ass man, but it's like, fuck, dude. Like, dude, seriously? You know, I understand you wanted to coach this team because you love the Jets. That's how you started off your career, the whole fucking 9 yards. We get it. But you're a fucking coach. Coach. Even though I am not the biggest Rex Ryan fan in the world, I never was. Well, I was originally, but then down the stretch, I kind of lost favor with him, but that's a different story. But when he became the head coach of the Jets, he made that speech. Let's play like the fucking New York Jets, not like some slapdick team. And then even though people may argue he wasn't, I may argue that he may not have been that great of a defensive-minded guy, when he had the Darrelle Reeves, he's like, you, come here. I want you to guard the number 1 receiver every time he steps across the field. I want you to follow this motherfucker. And that's exactly what he did.
It is. Ocho
And that's what pissed me
Cinco.
off with Salah when we had Sauce. Sauce, I think, is a talented player, but very inconsistent as of late. He didn't follow the number 1 receiver. He didn't follow him. That's what pissed me off with a lot of these cornerbacks. They don't follow the receiver. That was my biggest gripe with Sherman. Great cover corner, very good tackle, very ball, but he only stayed on his side of the field. When I think of some of the greatest cornerbacks of all time, not only is their ability to cover and tackle the whole 9 yards, but their ability to follow the team's best receiver. Whether it be a Calvin Johnson, an Andre Johnson, a Jerry Rice, a Michael Irvin, you name it. You follow him. I don't care if he's going to the bathroom. Follow that motherfucker. Follow him. You know, I don't understand why whenever the Jets get a first-time coach, they get all, I want to win. I want to win. I want to do this, and yet you act like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Well, Champ Bailey was like that too. Champ Bailey was like that too. I'm actually going to do a video on Champ Bailey at some point, so stay tuned for that.
Hell yeah!
I think he's very underappreciated. To be
Charles, let me
honest.
ask you what. So you saw we were tanking. We actually moved up today. What do you hope to see next Sunday when we face off
I don't
against
give
the
a shit.
Josh?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't give a shit.
The Bills.
I mean, if we move on the draft, that's fucking great. I don't give a shit. I'm not saying we shouldn't feel upset over this. Look, I understand we hate losing. I understand we don't like getting blown out. But at this fucking point, it's been a disaster. This team has showed no heart the last few weeks. And it's like at this fucking point, I know I've been saying it a lot this year, but I think we should officially mean it. Fuck this team and fuck this organization. The leadership, I said this to Billy SBC. Not only do I want a serious coaching staff, I want a serious fucking owner. The owner is a joke, and this coaching staff is a fucking joke.
Scathing. I like it, Charles. I like it.
It's the fucking truth. I mean, when will the only way the Jets will be like they were from 2008 to 2010 in terms of the player personnel, the coaching personnel, and the 2 straight trips to the AFC Championship game? Fuck you, Modine, you piece of shit. I'm back on the Colts bandwagon. The Colts are out of the playoffs. Modine sucks at watching my videos. Modine sucks at watching my content. Modine sucks at life. Goodbye, bitch. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Is we have strong and serious leadership. We need that. We need that shit. We need that.
Agreed.
And I don't think we have it. I don't think we have it much among the players. I don't think we have it much among the coaches. I don't think we have that much in the ownership. It's freaking disgraceful. I mean, when I made that video about the Jets and the Giants being disgraceful to not only the NFL, but to New York sports, I meant every fucking word. I did not hold my feelings. I did not bullshit. I did not lie. Comes down to leadership. Comes down to this.
Yeah.
And apparently the Jets and the Giants, you know, this
fantastic,
is
fantastic hair. Is that what you were pointing at?
No, my brain. This is hair.
Yeah, fantastic hair.
I'll get a haircut eventually.
I like it.
I mean, yes, we could get the number 1 pick, but really, just because you have the number 1 pick doesn't mean you're guaranteed you're going to get a guy like Mendoza or Dante Moore. Just saying, you got the number 1 pick. It's like this. I've been saying this for years. Preparation time gives you a chance. Doesn't automatically mean everything. Doesn't automatically. Speak, Ohio Jets fan. That's what I've been fucking saying. That's what my father wants, but that's not going to happen.
There's no guarantee that they'll be good, but if you get the number 1 pick, if you want him, it pretty much guarantees you're going to get Mendoza. You're saying what you mean is that it doesn't guarantee that he's going to be good, right?
Yes.
If you get the number 1 pick, it's a guarantee that you can get him.
It's like I give you a study guide for a test. Does that mean you're going to fucking pass? No. Gives you a chance. This shit gives you a chance. You know, the Jets had the number 2 overall pick in 2021. I wanted them originally to keep Sam Darnold, but of course people are like, fuck him, let him go somewhere else. And then I'm like, okay, build the offensive line. I wanted them to draft Penei Sewell, who's having a Hall of Fame career with the Detroit Lions. Yes, Shireen McLean, I am I am the same asshole who wanted to be a Colts fan, but I changed my mind. Love you too, Sharon McLean, whatever the hell your name is.
Modine chimes in, Charles. He says, Charles, you have a wound on your forehead.
Yes, I've been banging the head against the wall to see how much this fucking team pisses me off.
All right. So hold on. I got to interject because the show is going off the rails. We do have others to get to. Charles, you said you don't give a fuck what happens next Sunday, but you would like the number 1 pick. Wait, where am I off?
Well, I would like the Jets to get a top 2 pick, top 3 or a top 2 pick. But do I care if they win or lose on Sunday? No, I don't care. They show no heart. They show no heart. They show no accountability. So why should I even watch them?
Well, some would say if they win on next week, if they were to win, that would put them out of the top 3 picks.
I know, but winning, you know, if they win, would it piss me off? No, because they're the Jets. The Jets will always screw you.
You don't care how they play because you're not going to ruin your Sunday watching it. Is that what I'm getting?
Absolutely. I'll watch NFL football, just not the Jets. The Jets at these last 10, 15 years, they're like the best hooker. They'll always screw you over, no matter what.
What if you were watching a different game, but then heard a rumor like, hey, right now during the Jet game, Aaron Glenn is doing that dance down the sideline because the Jets scored a touchdown. Would you quickly turn it on to watch him do that dance?
I would like it if he was a player, but as a coach, I was like, what the fuck was that? You're a coach, dude.
I don't care about that. He can celebrate all he wants. I don't know.
I mean,
Charles,
I know.
It happen more often.
our resident
Swamp Ranger, yeah. We're gonna have a little talk with you about that, the wrestling thing. We're gonna have a little talk about that.
Oh, okay. Talk off air.
Not a
Talk off
bad
air.
thing, fellas. Not a bad thing, but
Wink, wink.
Uncle
but
Can't
still,
see
I
me.
mean, you can't see me. The time is now. But seriously, look, I watched a little bit of the game.
Final
My friend
thoughts.
Colin's house.
Final thoughts.
I was nice. I watched the highlight of Brees Shaw's 59-yard touchdown run. It was great. I feel like if I'm Brees Shaw, I'm just like doing this to the Patriot players. Fuck you. I'm going to the end zone when I'm doing this. I probably would have been flagged, but
Down 30.
correction. Down 39.
Yeah. Okay. Final thoughts, Charles.
Look, man, 2026, here we come, baby. Here we come. Can't wait for the new year. And hopefully, just hopefully, other than the Knicks, we'll see some good New York sports. Peace out, everybody.
See you,
Later.
Charles. Love you, brother. Oh, baby. The one, the only. Charles Gorman. The man, the myth, the legend. Chat, what did you think of Charles' call? Y'all were cracking me up, Mo. Jeez Louise. Sharon, oh my God. You know what he did say?
It's interesting to me to say I want the top pick or the second pick or the third pick, but I don't care if they win on Sunday or not, because it's a little bit of a conflict there. Because I mean, if you want the top three pick, if you want a top three pick, then you have to root for them to lose.
Then you're invested on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Right. If you're invested in the top three pick, you're invested this Sunday. Sadly, one thing he did say that I forgot to mention, man. Thoughts on the 59-yard touchdown run from Brees Hall? For anyone who didn't watch us earlier, what did you think of that?
First of all, I'm glad, because it seemed like such a cheap way to get 1,000 yards that he was like having to fight bit by bit, piece by piece. I mean, he had some good runs. I'm not putting down Brees Hall at all, considering what, I mean, they're stacking the box. It's probably in some ways, since the first half of his rookie year before he got hurt, it's the most impressive Brees Hall season he's had from a rushing perspective. When you consider we've had no quarterback, the opposing defenses are stacking the box. The fact that he got to 1,000 yards is incredible, but that touchdown run reminded me of the guy I love, the guy I was excited about, the guy the home run hitting running back. And it was like he hit the hole, bounced off into space, and he was Brees Hall. That was the guy, and I would love it if, there was any way he could be that again. If we had a real quarterback that doesn't allow the defense to stack the box. Like if suddenly we get a quarterback who's playing well and they can't stack the box against us, and you get a healthy Garrett Wilson, and maybe we add to that room and you have weapons, maybe we could see it spread out a little bit. Maybe we could see the Brees Hall that I'm sure a lot of us miss. But today, that run was a nice little reminder of that feeling of having a real weapon in a running back.
And you know what I know? Believe it or not, guys, I know most of the Brees Hall statistics. Okay, I do. Probably because I hate watch him. No, I'm just kidding. Am I? I don't know. I don't even know anymore. But 59 yards, dude. I was so blown away. I was cheering if you weren't watching it, because he finally finished a run. He starts all kind of runs. He doesn't finish them. He finished a run. And not only that, like this is a stat I didn't know and I had to look up because I wasn't sure. I was fairly sure, but I wasn't sure. Longest touchdown run he's had since October 2023. Denver. When he blew out his ACL. The longest touchdown run ever since.
And to what Ohio Jets fan is asking, I felt when I watched it that's what looked different. That he didn't do the thing where he stops and looks or he just decisively went into the center of the line. He went right through, decisively made one cut and go. One cut, go. And that was the guy we fell in love with the first 8 games of his career. One cut and go. And that's
Now
what
I
it
will say,
felt
I
like.
will say that the D line kind of went like this, and he went up the middle. But the second level, he was very decisive. He said, "I'm gonna boop, go toward the pylon and up, gone."
It all felt very
Gone.
fast to me. I mean, he just outran the defense. You know, he was just a bullet. It was beautiful. It's nice to watch.
Yep.
I mean, you got to credit the offensive line. I'm sure that we have to, look back at the blocks because there was some beautiful blocking there, and I'm sure Joe Tippmann had something to do with that. He always seems to. When it comes to those runs up the middle, it always ends up being Tippmann who does something great.
Boss Girl chimes in. She said, "That's true, Dano. He does usually peter out and get caught inside the 5, which coincidentally the only long 40 plus yard, 42 yard last year that he had. He got caught inside the 10 by Buffalo. So it was nice, man. I don't know if it was just blown coverages, like you said. We got to see the film, but dude, watching the game broadcast, it was an exciting play. Maybe the only one today, as a matter of fact.
There was only a few good plays today to be really excited about, and that was certainly one of them. Most of the plays to be excited about were Brees Hall, as a matter of fact, because there was a couple of other good runs too, and a good passing play that he made. I mean, Mechie made a couple of plays, but for the most part, I mean, really, the Brees Hall run was the only time that we actually felt any real kind of. I mean, we already knew we lost the game, but it felt a little bit good to watch something good happen for our team. And it brought back, to me, it was more about the nostalgia. It was the memory of watching Brees Hall do that.
I do. And I know folks are chatting about it, so I would be remiss to ignore it. San Francisco, Chicago playing right now, winding into the 2-minute warning. San Francisco up 42-38. And since we're talking about Brees Hall, let's talk about another running back, Christian McCaffrey, 181 total yards.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing.
He's a robot.
Just amazing. He's just unbelievable. Can you imagine if he never had all those injuries? What his full stats would be like? It's ridiculous. I don't know what it is. It's all IQ. I'm not that he doesn't have any athletic ability. He does, but it's not like he has so much more athletic ability and he's such a superior athlete. It's his brain. It's his IQ. He just has this football IQ. He's just so smart in his movements and what he does and how he feels the game. He's just so good. So good.
Dude, he's a cyborg, man. I can't believe anything. He's like Otani. Like, were these guys just built in a petri dish? Like, it's insane. But yeah, dude, incredible what he's doing still to this date. Ohio Jets fan, where I was born and raised, chimes in. He says, "Has any of the O-line been injured this year? In fact, they have not. Same starting 5 all year, except
today."
Today. Fuck. I did make a hot take.
We don't know how bad it is.
No, we don't. But if you guys watch the intro of the show, you'll see my hot take about them playing all 17. I think that's in jeopardy. So does Chaos, possibly, potentially. John Simpson, man, we don't know the extent of his injury, but he got nicked up a couple weeks back, played through it. Now he got nicked up worse.
Does every coach do it the way Aaron Glenn does, or this is an Aaron Glenn thing? When he says, Simpson's got a knee, so-and-so's got a knee, Clark's got an ankle. Is that just him, or is that every coach says it like that?
I don't know, but I got 2 ankles. I got 2 knees.
That's what I'm always thinking. When he goes, he has a knee, I'll say, yeah, I have 2 knees, but that's not what I'm asking you. How injured is the knee? What's the extent?
The severity.
What's the severity? Is he in a walking cast? Is he going in for an MRI? I know he has a knee.
The only thing I got from the injuries was an interview with Brees where he said he's fine. Because I know he left early with a knee.
Yeah, he doesn't think he needs any tests. They'll shut him down. You know he's being shut down, right? He's done.
Yeah, I mean, he ought to be. He ought to be, unless he's got some kind of performance thing for 1,200 or I don't know. But he ought to be. Why not, dude? Contract year, you just got 1,100 yards, give or take, probably 15, damn near
Give
total.
Isaiah Davis 25 carries and
Dude,
see what the kid's got.
please, please do. I would love it. I don't know Buffalo's run D, but dude, let's go. Let's go, man. We can't see Braylon. If we had Braylon out there, I would ask for 13 and 13, a piece there. Ohio's saying he would draft an IOL to replace Simpson just based on that alone, Jeremy.
No. Guess we drafted an IOL to replace. Well, we were talking about that if Simpson's severely hurt, or even the fact that right now, only, Myers and Tippmann, we have 4 offensive linemen on contract to come back officially. We do not have Simpson signed for next year, and we do not have AVT, of course, signed for next year. So as of right now, we don't have a left guard. We don't know who the left guard is going into next year. So if we don't re-sign guys, or if it's not done in free agency and we go into the draft in that situation, then we are drafting without question in the first 2 rounds a guard, if that's the plan, because they're not going to try to draft a guard in the 4th round because we don't have a 3rd round pick and then start a 4th round guard. You can get a really good guard in the 4th round sometimes, but rarely do you draft a guard in the 4th round and rely on them and say, we need you to start. That's a very different thing than drafting a guard in the 4th round and hoping within the first 2 years of his career, he's going to develop into a good starting guard.
Agreed. AVT, as Billy says, is still in the fray. Yeah, and Rich Sports, he doubles down. He says, I go AVT 1 year. I think most of us would.
What the
I
hell
do.
is not winning a Super Bowl anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Year 1, if he gets hurt, then you go with the backup. Who cares?
It's not going to be 15 million either.
I mean, but I would say that I think you have to go with a double plan. If you're going to, because if we do draft, let's say we drafted Mendoza or Dante Moore or Simpson. Let's say we drafted a quarterback. You better have, if you're going to go with AVT, you better have a backup plan, because you don't want to do that to the quarterback. Let's say he goes down game 2, week 3, week 4, whatever it is. Now you're going to go to the rest of the year and you're going to have a hole in your offensive line with some guy named Newman playing. No, thank you.
Yeah, Newman or Mitchell or Saffold.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. So you better have a backup plan if you're going to go with him. It's a prove it type year for AVT. I love the guy personally. Like when he's healthy, I'm fine with him, and I like him in every way. But he's just unreliable health wise. We can't trust that he's going to stay healthy. So if you're gonna sign him, it's a 1 year prove it type deal where you're not relying on him. And the answer to this, by the way, is that there's no way you move Tippmann back to center. You have yourself a very good guard, and he's not a horrible center, but he's a better guard than he is a center. And you have Myers signed, and you could draft a guy in the 4th or 5th rounds and develop a center. It's the easiest position, one of the easier positions to find in the NFL as far as without being expensive. Like you don't have to spend a high pick on a center. I mean, people argue that's true for guard. Well, for center, it's even easier. Every position is hard is realistic. There's no easy position. Obviously, you have to invest something. What I'm saying is, I would much rather be a team that needs a center to improve Myers than be a team that's looking to improve Tippmann, because Tippmann has been overall very good.
Build from the outside in, and thankfully we started that. We got the bookends, and God, man, I don't even know if I want my hot take to come true, because it means exposing Fashanu and Membu to another opportunity to get injured. And it's like, you know what? Maybe we just shut them down too. I don't even care anymore. Like, let's get these guys to year 2 because they've more than pulled their weight. I guess that's not the move, but I'm thinking out loud here,
If they play him, it's for more reps, because they're young and they just want to give him more reps. I have a very bad feeling about it. Like I get very scared in games like this. Last game of the year, the last thing we need is one of those guys. You know, I'm knocking on wood right now, and I don't even want to say it, but the last thing we need is one of those guys going down with something major, and then finding out they're not going to be ready until November. Like we just don't need it at this point. They can rest whoever they want at this point, and I'm going to support it. You know, we're getting killed anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
Just freaking run the ball 85, 90% of the time. You know, and just do some screen passes.
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. But do not get our guys hurt.
Let me ask you, okay, so yeah, like you just said it. You ripped the Band-Aid off, Chaos. We're getting killed anyway. Anyway. Is it Brady Cook for 4 quarters?
That or Herndon Hooker, but you're certainly not bringing in Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields. That makes no sense. Makes no sense.
But it's you. Cook or Hooker?
I mean, I don't believe either one is on the roster moving forward, so I don't care. I'm probably going to go with Cook just because Herndon Hooker's up until 2 weeks ago was on his couch, and since from the first week of the season, and you might be putting him in danger. Like I don't know if he's really ready to play. I think Phillip Rivers was. As a human being, I was nervous for him because you can get really hurt. It takes time to stretch and get your body ready for the NFL, and I don't see I don't know the reason why you'd have to put Hooker in. I mean, just let Brady Cook play it out,
I mean, unless I don't know, man. I think you've seen enough of Cook, and I think that they're the same shit, so it doesn't matter. So why not go to Hooker? That's where I'm at. Like,
it would be more interesting to watch. It would be more interesting to watch. It would.
And like, do you invite him to camp? Like, Cook, you know what you have. You can invite him or you can't. Like, let's get someone better than him, and we won't know if Hooker is even that if we don't throw him out there and give him some plays.
One warning though. You bring in Herndon Hooker, and he puts up 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and rushes for 50, 60 yards, and has a
no.
I'm just saying that you're going to have to put up with Tony the GM.
No.
He's going to be telling you that we have our quarterback and that he told you all along.
It'll mean nothing. It'll mean a camp invite, and that is it. A shot at QB3 who may not even be suited up on Sundays. That's all it'll mean for me. To be honest, I want to replace the whole room. Can we just raid it? Some Ridex and just start over. I don't know, man. Can you draft 2 and get, a bridge 2 and one's on the PS? I don't know, man. I
mean, look, your QB3 is your QB3. You can bring back Adrian, Martinez. I mean, who cares, right? I mean, you can get anybody. Tyrod's gone and good riddance, they're going to draft a quarterback and they're going to sign, if they don't draft a quarterback, they have to go out and get a bridge quarterback and another quarterback to be his backup. That's what they have to do now. And then maybe draft a new guy to compete in camp, in the late rounds. If they draft a top guy, then you have to go out and get him a veteran, because you never want to put yourself in a situation where you absolutely gun to your head must start your rookie game week 1. You go to training camp and in the summer, what if he's not ready? Because you don't know a guy until he's there. What if he's not ready? That's not a good sign. I'm not saying it's a happy thing, but sometimes you can have a guy that's not ready, but also end up being a good quarterback. He's just not ready, right? Like, let's say Ty Simpson doesn't have a lot of college experience, doesn't have a ton of games under his belt. What if he's not ready? Maybe he'll be a fine quarterback, but he's not ready. You can't put them in that situation where week 1, that's all you have. I think you have to have a veteran. So, but there's tons of veterans in the league we could sign. Like Evil Allen said, I don't know if I care so much about who the quarterback is next year based on what we do. Like, if we draft the future, I'm not in a rush to start him. And if we don't draft the future, then I don't care who plays quarterback for next year. I really don't, except I would like it to be somebody functional so we can at least start evaluating this team in the direction of this team. Like, it can't be Cook. It has to be a guy where you could at least give Aaron Glenn a fair chance and Tanner your coach is a fair chance, because we have to be able to at least have somebody functional to evaluate them as coaches.
I agree. Do you? So Rich, Nolan Rich chimes in. He says, "I think Brees and Mason Taylor will be shut down." Hasn't Mason already been?
Mason Taylor shut down.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying he's hurt and like he wanted to play or whatever, but I think deep down he's shut down. They probably told him, "You shut up, stop saying that you feel fine." There's just no point in playing these guys.
Thoughts on this comment here from Hazel Chaos?
I got to be careful because you have to be more careful, because you have to be really careful about how you react to this. I don't care. Fine, he's a veteran. He counts as a veteran quarterback. I mean, I don't care that much about next year. Like I know it's going to be, but is he functional enough to evaluate the offense? Though I don't know if
I mean, he was passed over, wasn't he?
Right, he was passed over by Ewers, so I don't know if he's functional enough to do it. Like to be the guy. I'd rather have like a Brissett. Brissett's a functional quarterback. Minshew or whatever, like, some of those kind of guys. Even Sam Howell, was a functional quarterback for Washington his rookie year. He was functional, so I just need a functional quarterback, like to be able to evaluate and say, do these guys know, like somebody who, if they scheme open receivers and call a decent enough offensive play, the quarterback will be able to drop back, throw the ball, and make the play to show that the coaches know what they're doing.
Guys, we are winding down here. I can feel it. So I just want to hit maybe the last topic, maybe a couple questions from y'all. I know the game's about to end. You guys are watching that. It seems to be a banger. I'm not going to lie. I hear the girls screaming in the other room for this one. But chaos. Yeah, I hear it. I don't know if the mic picks it up, but one thing that is Jet newsworthy today, I think we can hang our hat on. I mean, that Brees Hall run, epic. The other thing, though, is after the game, what did we see? We saw the Cleveland Browns fuck up their tank, their quote unquote tank. Chaos. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and they jumped from 3rd to 6th, which means the Jets actually went up a rung. We went from 4 to 3. I just want to get your thoughts about that. How impressed were you that even happened? And then how stoked were you when it did?
Look, I was really, really happy. You saw how upset I was when Pittsburgh started moving the ball down the field. I was getting really irritated. I said they stopped them for 58 minutes and change. And now in the final minute and a half with no timeouts, you're going to let them walk into the end zone. And that's what it looked like. And then suddenly Cleveland put the brakes on, and I cheered louder than anything the Jets did today. That's for sure. That was the biggest. If you're going to say what's the best thing that happened for Jets fans today, that was the best moment or best thing that happened for us. It was Cleveland beating Pittsburgh. I'm not saying it's everything. I'm not going to say it's going to change the direction of our organization, but it was a positive thing. We moved up a spot, and every spot right now, when you're in the top 5 like this, is very big.
Yeah. And the Giants beat Vegas after we spoke. The Giants won that game. And as Nolan here says, if they win again, they could be out of the top 5.
Yeah. No,
so
want them to win.
Does this squash the notion around social media all week that the NFL has a tanking problem and these teams are openly tanking? And then you see teams like Cleveland win, Giants win, which they didn't have a choice. I mean, one of those teams are going to win, but Cleveland wins. Is there still a tanking problem, or is that just fodder?
Well, to some extent, it doesn't mean, because it might not be tanking problem as defined by every team is doing it, but the Raiders are clearly tanking. I mean, the Raiders sat Crosby, who wanted to play, and they said, no, you don't. We're clearly tanking. We're shutting everybody down. Oh, you got you got a cuticle issue. Your fingers bothering you. Shut you down. I mean, does it have a tank? I don't know if that's an issue. They just have to, if you want to resolve it, there's only one way to resolve something like that, and it doesn't do it 100%, but it makes it a little bit less obvious and a little bit less motivated, and that is what the NBA does. You don't have it be clearly determined by this. Like you have it be there's the bottom 8 teams. You pick a number like that, bottom 8 teams, lottery. Maybe the guy, maybe by position, Vegas would get the most little ping pong balls. They get 8 balls. The Giants would get 7. The Jets would get 6. Tennessee, and so on. But you do a little bit of a lottery, and maybe that takes some of the incentive to tank.
I mean, maybe there's another option too. Maybe it's not a lottery, but maybe there is something else. When it comes to ping pong balls, I was told by a great friend of ours, Jeremy, that AG has balls. He has balls. Hopefully, it's ping pong oriented. But yeah, you know what? 5 seconds left. I don't know what's happening, but it sure sounds like it's
goal from the 4-yard line. 4 seconds left. What's the score, though? Billy, what's the score?
38-42.
The Niners?
Let's see if I can do this here.
4 points. They got the 4-yard line, 4 seconds left, so they can have one play to win the game. This is what the Bears do.
Here we go, Chaos.
They're a fun team. You got to give them credit. They're a fun team. The Bears. Final. The girls got quiet.
Yeah, they did. I'm sleeping on the couch.
Final. I have no idea
final
for us or if that matters. I don't think that matters at all. As far as I know, I don't know if that mattering at all.
I mean, it only matters if people above us played the Bears or the Niners. I bet they all did play them once. Like, I don't know that it's going to make a difference. Maybe 0.001, yeah. But Niners win, man. Niners win. I think they're almost, I can't say at 11-4. They 12-4 now. Damn. Solid. Talk about a phoenix, man, rising from the ashes.
Yeah, giving up 35+ points a game, touchdowns like crazy, but playing with it, but on a team that scores 40+ every week.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave up 30-something points to Phillip Rivers. And I don't know if I should be making that into a joke anymore because apparently Phillip Rivers is still good. But Caleb needed to throw it away.
Well, I feel it stalling. Chaos, what do you think about wrapping?
I think it's time to wrap. But yeah. So we started off complaining about the coach. We ended up talking about the draft because the draft is the hope. The draft is the future. Right? And the good news is, I mean, we have 2 legitimate first-round picks. Like, we're sitting here talking about, like, first, second, or third pick. What pick are we going to get? We can go as high as 15 on that other pick, right? So we got a bunch. We got to root for Detroit to win next week. There's a few teams that we've got to root for to win to get up there. Every one of those teams that win. Baltimore beating Pittsburgh would be huge for us. That definitely gets us up a slot. So there's a bunch of good things that could happen here. So don't discount that pick. There's guys at 15 in that area. Sonny Styles, I'll say it over and over again. Lemon, the wide receiver, that guy Lemon. There's guys, man. These are real guys that I don't know. They could be busts, but they could also be Pro Bowlers. Like this could be. Imagine getting a Pro Bowl player. So then we'll have A.D. Mitchell, a Pro Bowl player who's cheap for 4 years, or even 5 if you extend them, while Indianapolis is paying Sauce Gardner $30 million a year. And we still have another number 1 pick coming to us next year from Indianapolis. Just imagine that. If you take a guy like Sonny Styles or Lemon and they end up being a great player, how good it's making this trade pan out for us.
Correct. And I mean, same with Quinnen, man. We were paying him damn near $30 million. Now we get picks to hit on, and we may not hit on both or all three. Hit on one and a half. Hit on half, man. And then you don't even have to get to the Quinnen skill level. You can get 3/4 of the way there and pay them nothing. That's net positive, man. It is. Because then you can use that money for free agents, whether it be this spring or next spring.
Let's see what we do with Dallas' second-round pick this year. Because what if we were to take a guard, and that's our guard for the next 10 years, and we find a really good, better than average guard? How sweet is that? We're not even up to the number 1 pick yet. There's a chance we're going to get a real player in the second round from this trade.
There is, and call me crazy, I think we slide back at least once the first day or two because there's just too much in the middle of our draft where we have no picks. So yeah, we start with 8 picks, most of them being junk. It's like great picks or bad picks. We need that middle to be filled out, and I think we will. Also, I don't know if you saw the text I sent you, but Morgan Moses earning a playtime incentive today made a comp pick of ours that was a 7. It rolled it into a 5th. Bam, dude. What a day we had. Right. What a day.
Oh, and sometimes you could take that 5th now and pair it with the other 5th and move into the 4th. You know what I mean? And now have 2 4ths and take the 2 4ths and move into the 3rd and get us into the middle of the 3rd, because that's a big void for us where we need to, maybe that's where we can get that last really good impactful player in this draft. So, these are just possibilities, but like, it's not just where the pick is, it's ammunition that you can combine and trade up with. It's currency.
Correct.
Draft picks are currency. So
they are.
7th round pick became a 5th round pick. We just added currency into our wallet.
Correct. Where we spend the picks, we'll find out. But yeah, dude, appreciate everyone joining us. Spike the like button if you're still here. Appreciate Hazel, who just paid for a membership. Wasn't even gifted one. She paid for a membership. I'm sure YouTube thanks you too, Hazel.
What about
they like their cut. But yeah, spike the like button. Catch you guys Friday night. Catch you guys Sunday night. Stick around. Also check out Brooklyn Brothers Food Review on YouTube. Right, Jer?
It's a fun channel. I like to eat. And I do. I eat and I give you scores. I know that Ephraim loves it, or Ephraim from Canarsie. He loves it. He always says, when are you going to do original pizza? He always wants to know when I'm going to review original pizza.
Our resident Bengals fan, man, they're cooking again. Congrats, stranger. Yeah.
The Bengals, thank you very much. The Bengals helped me win $500 today. So
there you go. Who day?
Thank you, Bengals, man. I made a last-second switch, by the way. I had Pittsburgh. I switched the Bengals 2 days ago because I got nervous that Pittsburgh, who wasn't playing, and I got nervous. And I said, you know what? Arizona stinks. The Bengals have been playing good, and they play hard. Like Joe Burrow's back, and they want to end the season on a good note. And I made the switch, and I won because of it. So
he's JetsChaos, folks. I am Dano, coming to you live from the Danger Zone. Have a good night.
I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!